Hey, my name is Matiss. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Green Finance, and this is what I do.
Buenos dias, guys. What's happening? I'm reporting again from Madrid. As you can see, there's a busy street behind me. There's sun right in my fucking eyes, so I help to keep the glasses on. And this is just some kind of side street not far from my hotel. So I'm here on business, some conferences, some meetings and things like that. And I have this fucking awesome thought that I wanted to share, which is, you know that there's all this content always created and there's so many people talking about how you have to make sure you have this support network of people that really, you know, help you grow and reach your potential and all this kind of stuff, right? But we never talk that much about how do you do this in a context of a company, in the context of your company. So let me talk about that. Number one, how you do it is by having a great board of directors. What is a board of directors and why is it important? Well, it's very important because it's the highest governing body of a company. It's not the CEO, it's not the founder, it's the board that is really sort of like on top of the company. So that's obviously very important. Board is theoretically responsible for a lot of many important things, setting the overall objective and vision of the company, setting the budget of the business, approving all sorts of corporate transactions, choosing the CEO, and generally like is a guiding force of a company. So obviously that's very important. In reality, it's really boards don't operate like that. In huge corporations they do. Board is really the force, the top force of the business, but in small, medium, and even many big companies, a board is kind of formed around the CEO, around the chief executive officer. And so let's talk about kind of an example from Green Finance. We have a board which is basically a result of, it formed through several years of whenever we engaged new shareholders. So board is really, in a context of a company, a representative body of the key shareholders in the business, right? The board members get elected by the shareholders. And so on our board, we have a representative from a family office investor, we have a representative from a VC, we have a representative from a public bank, and we have two founders, myself and my business partner. So that's our board, right? And we, in our case, we want to make sure that the board works for us and for the CEO, not the other way around, because you don't want to have a business that is just, controlled and pushed by the board. You want to be forming a company where you are the guiding force, where you are pushing things forward, and board is a tool for you to reach strategic objectives of the company. Hence, it's a supportive mechanism as well as a corporate governance mechanism. So that's in terms of the board, and so like I said, in reality it really forms around the CEO and it forms as the company is growing. Number two, advisory board. Those are two very different things. Advisory board is more like like a nice sort of poster that you can attach on the face of your company. It's not very formal, and advisory board members don't have particular, let me just walk away from this because it's a very quiet, very loud street. Advisory board members don't have particular serious legal responsibilities as opposed to board members. And so you want to get highly credible, hopefully well-known advisory board members to engage with your company so that you can get exposure and access to their network that helps your business. And second, you get credibility and PR benefits from having all these superstar guys in your advisory board. So that's your second level of support when you're building a company and when you're in a context of a business, you want to build a network that supports you. And the third one, probably the most important, and I'm going to talk about that the least because that's a whole separate topic. It's obviously your top management team, right? So you have your advisory board on the side, cool, nice, great people that you engage whenever you need, no particular commitments. Then you have the board of directors on top. Those are representatives normally of the biggest shareholders. They keep you accountable as a CEO. You know, they challenge you, but also you have to make sure they work in your favor. They are aligned with your vision. And then beneath that, you have effectively the CEO, and beneath the CEO, you have top management. And obviously, top management, those are the superstar guys that actually make shit happen. So let's say the one point here, just to remember, is that in terms of top management, those don't need to be well-balanced, well-rounded individuals. Those need to be fucking crazy people with extreme, strengths in particular areas, and those particular areas need to complement your weaknesses, right? So when you're kind of, attached to each other, you really form a killer team. But let me talk about that topic of top management and how to build it, etc., on a different video, because this is all I wanted to say this morning. And I hope you had a nice walk together with me in the streets of Madrid. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, listen to the fucking wisdom, keep experimenting, and success will follow. Peace.